Excerpts of the drugs their doctors prescribe for them, and independent information sources about drugs, such as Cochrane reviews, referring to a scientific collaborative group, which will make it easier for them to say, no thanks. 10 years later, drug ads are more ubiquitous than ever, and fatalities from prescription medicine are the top cause of death, Dr. Gurcha says, often written off to other factors. For example, thousands die of peptic ulcer complications caused by taking common, nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs. Others die after falls prompted by medicine they were prescribed. But because the solutions don't rest with consuming more drugs that deposit profits into pharmaceutical industry coffers, death by prescription drug doesn't draw near the attention that other maladies do, which is par for the course. It's not as if we haven't tried to get a grasp on our own health, but for every safety measure enacted on our behalf, there are well-funded and powerful interests working to undermine it. Warning labels are required for drugs, including vaccines, but doctors who prescribe them usually don't tell you what's on the labels, encourage you to read them, or later find out if you suffered any ill effects. And if you end up back in the clinic or in the ER with an adverse event, odds are the doctors won't recognize or acknowledge it as drug-related. They certainly don't report it to the federal databases designed to track and unearth new side effects. Why? Speaking of those federal databases, when they do reveal patterns of injuries pointing to possible drug dangers, we're left to wonder why the data is collected at all. That's because government and pharmaceutical interests work in an organized fashion to convince us that the patterns mean nothing. They're to be dismissed. Artificial reality. We exist largely in an artificial reality brought to you by the makers of the latest pill or injection. It's a reality where invisible forces work daily to hype fears about certain illnesses and exaggerate the supposed benefits of treatments and cures. On the other hand, these forces have financial reasons to minimize or deny spikes in other types of illnesses that they make money treating so that we don't seriously explore root causes. In those cases, they argue the surge is just the result of greater awareness and better diagnosis, or maybe the invention of overactive imaginations. The hard truth is that every emerging disorder we suffer opens up new opportunities for pharmaceutical companies to earn millions or billions. Drug companies and their government partners fund the majority of scientific studies with the goal of promoting a product. Studies that could stand to truly solve our most consequential health problems aren't done if they don't ultimately advance a profitable pill or injection. The government subsidizes food that's bad for us, allows known neurotoxins, cancer-causing chemicals, and hormone disruptors to be in the food we feed our children every day and the water we drink, and restricts practices that could make us healthier. It incentivizes the practice of medicine in a way that reduces us to a series of target numbers to be achieved through expensive pharmaceuticals and treatments, and punishes doctors who color outside the lines and practice independent patient care. Why? Misinformation issued on a grand scale saturates the information landscape and becomes impossible to avoid. The government, federal agencies, doctors, medical associations, and cleverly disguised nonprofits backed by industry push this misinformation on the public with impunity. Medical professionals and scientists who question the dogma and offer independent research or individualized treatment of patients are held up to ridicule, punished, even yanked before medical boards to have their licenses pulled. Even most of your doctors don't know that the medical journals they rely upon are filled with unreliable studies hopelessly tainted by drug industry interests, and that's according to some of the journal editors themselves. Studies are ghostwritten by drug companies, then held out as independent. Researchers, under pressure to publish, can buy studies with fake data on the internet and put their names on them. Part of the reason your doctors don't dig deeper lies in the fact that medical school curricula and professional continuing